guys, and welcome to another episode of the Coffee and Hero Show, back after a 1 week hiatus. Why the hiatus, you ask? Well, last week, and the incoming diamond rant, of course. Last week we were supposed to have 3 large boxes delivered to us, and each box will contain anywhere from 50 graphic novels to 300 single issues. And we were supposed to have 3 boxes last week, only 2 arrived, so I was not in the best of form, I have to admit, so I just didn't see the point in just having a 30-minute diamond rant, although if you come into the store I can easily do that. But yeah, no, just certain things didn't arrive until this week that should have come last week, and a box got lost in the way, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, draw a line under it, here we are this week. So yeah, recording this in the morning of the new comic book day this week. Tons to get through, loads of stuff in, but changes in the store. I've been working really hard in the last couple of weeks, implementing lots of probably little changes that wouldn't be so obvious, but I just think they make the place that little bit better. So first of all, I've finished with the DC and Marvel graphic novels. DC and Marvel now have their own sections. So there's 2 full bookcases of DC, 2 full bookcases of Marvel. Image has been moved along one, and now there's just 1 bookcase of new release graphic novels each week. I felt sometimes with the new release graphic novels, if you had a quieter week or something like that, people were just saying the same stuff over and over. So with it being a slightly smaller section, it means there's a rotation of stock every single week. Chris made up some new banner heads for all the sections as well, which look really, really good. It's just about making the store as easy to navigate as possible, or as quick to find whatever you're looking for as possible. So there was that. I've started taking some statues out of the boxes. If you're a regular watcher on here, you'll know I've wrestled with this for years. But, first of all, they're selling better, so I maybe should have done a long time ago. But yeah, no, I just think with these expensive items, if you can see the detail, you can see the level of intricacy to them, I think they're more likely to sell rather than just looking at a picture of a box and saying, £300, please. That sort of thing. But yeah, we've got some really cool ones. I've got Trinity out at the moment. There's really cool Batman Deathstroke one we've put out. We've put out a Wolverine bust. We've just different bits and pieces. They're in just a couple of display cases close to the counter there. I completely redone the omnibus section. So with the Kallax units that you get through IKEA, there's no backings to them, so there was always that worry that things could go out the back. I've boarded up the backs of those with some homemade boards. And then put some buffers in there so that they slide back really nicely into place, but keeps it uniform and even. As you can see, this is my OCD coming to the fore as ever. Back issues, threw out some new back issues this week, just very random stuff though. It's no one particular section got any care or attention. It was just, I had about 150 issues I had to put out into the Marvel and DC base. Website, we're continuing to add more stock. We're starting to sell CGCs through the website as well. Now, obviously, anything that's ordered through the website, if you spend over £30, it's free shipping. So obviously, any slabs is free shipping as well. So yeah, just tons on the go at the moment. Tons of little things trying to improve, trying to make better. I'm going to be redoing some of the other graphic novel sections as well. Just give them a little bit of care and love. It's been a little while. And then one last thing I've done, I've been wanting to do this for ages, is I've got 2 print books, which will be up at the new releases. So you've got DC prints and you've got Marvel prints. So these are all high quality prints. So they'll all be sold for £5 each. Anytime any of these are sold, we've got top loaders that they'll be into, so you can transport them. But you'll just start to see, we've got prints from, all types of titles, all types of artists, all high quality card stock. And again, those will be available from today. So tons to have a wee spy through there as well if you want to brighten up your home. But yeah, DC and Marvel there at £5 each with the prints. So as I say, they'll be going out from today. So yeah, that is pretty much all the store bits and pieces. Let's have a wee look at the new releases this week. So I'll kick things off as I always do with the variants for this week. There's a decent wee chunk of them. Let's have a look here. So first off out this week is Swamp Thing Green Hell issue 3. So again, they obviously held back on resoliciting this for ages, and then solicited a second print for number 1, number 2 a month later, number 3 a month later, and they've kept to their word. So the variant for it this month for issue 3 is by Christian Ward. So obviously oversized black label there. We got a couple of 1 to 25s going out. So we've got 1 to 25 for Detective Comics 1069 by Colleen Doran. This is a rather beautiful 1 to 25 variant. We have a 1 to 25 variant going out for Venom, which is Venom 17, which came out a couple of weeks ago. They were slow shipping this to us for whatever reason. But this is a variant covered by Kathy, which shows father and son in symbiote action. We have a 1 to 25 for Nightwing 102. This is done by Vasco Georgiev. So again, 1 to 25 ratio variant. And then the last ratio variant we have is a bit of a unique one, simply because if you've got Vanish on your pull list, which issue 5's out this week, issue 5's supposed to be out this week. Diamond in their Eternal Wisdom did not send me my cover A's. They only sent me cover B, cover C, and the 1 to 10 variant. So the 1 to 10 variant by Ryan Stegman, this is your normal cover A, but obviously cover A has trade dress and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you've got Vanish on your pull list, it'll be next week, not this week, hopefully. But yeah, anyway, the 1 to 10's available, which is Ryan Stegman. You have a Scotty Young variant for issue 5 as well, which is all about looking cool. And then you have Daniel Warren Johnson doing variants for Vanish as well. He's done them since issue 1. So every time there's a cover B, it's always Daniel Warren Johnson, who, as you know, is one of my favorite artists. We have Alex Ross Timeless this week, just the one, which is for Doctor Strange at number 1. Brand new starting point there for the good doctor, which we'll get into in a moment. But obviously Dormammu for this one. We have Superman issue 2, a Tony S. Daniel variant cover. A little bit of a take on the classic Neil Adams breaking the kryptonite chains. We have Batman One Bad Day out this week, where Ra's al Ghul, or Rish al Ghul, depending on your pronunciation. Jim Lee doing the variant covers, as he has been for every issue of One Bad Day. But also with One Bad Day, we have the 1 to 25 retailer incentive, which is by Bill Sienkiewicz as well. So 1 to 25 variant for One Bad Day. So as I say, that's the variant side of things. But what about those new releases? Well, I'll kick things off with, let's see, DC. We'll just get a few of these bad boys together. There's a couple of things I've got back in stock after we had sellouts for them. There's a few new releases, of course. So plenty of good stuff. I may have already read a couple of these issues as well, because there were a couple I couldn't wait for. I should say as well, there is a new reviews podcast up on our podcast network. Keith and I did our February review show. So if you want to hear a grown man nearly move to tears over Deceased issue 6, then you want to listen to that. And yes, that person was me. But anyway, we will move away from there and on to DC, as I say. So this week sees the release of Superman number 2. So continuing on with Joshua Williamson and Jamal Campbell on art. Really dug the first issue. Again, I'm not the biggest Superman guy, but I really enjoyed the first issue of that. Also, speaking of Superman, back in stock this week is Adventures of Superman John Kent. This is going to be the 6-issue mini-series from Tom Taylor and Clayton Henry. And again, this just sold out really quickly, so more copies in stock if you're playing catch-up. I'd mentioned Batman Ra's al Ghul in the variant section. So Tom Taylor, Ivan Rice, this is the last One Bad Day. Certainly of this batch anyway. I'd be surprised if they don't do another rake of One Bad Days. I mean, the format has proven successful. It's been a good seller, critically well received. And you have so many villains out there you can use. You know, you can use Harley Quinn, you can use Poison Ivy, you can use Zaz, you can use Hugo Strange. There's a ton from the Rogues Gallery that weren't utilised in this one. But Ra's al Ghul, I'm really looking forward to this as well. Again, anything Tom Taylor I'm usually down for. We have the Flash issue 795, so Jeremy Adams continuing his 1 Minute War as it leads up to 800, of which there'll be a new creative team jumping on. But if you're on the Jeremy Adams, Roger Crew stuff, this is part 6 of the 1 Minute War. We have new Catwoman out this week, issue 53, Teenie Howard on Catwoman, of course. And it's a different Catwoman with Selena in jail. Quite a good status quo. And again, I will say Catwoman's one of those titles that I don't think enough people are on. We've got sort of a horror-themed one-shot, which is DC like to do these sort of 80 to 90 page spectaculars every so often. This is DC's Legion of Bloom, obviously leading into spring. You can see characters involved here such as Swamp Thing, Wonder Woman, Flash, Poison Ivy, Green Lanterns. So that'll be your anthology book. Loads of different stories, tons of different creators. Deceased number 7, which I have already read as well. And Jesus was a kick-ass issue. There's only one issue left after this for Deceased, War of the Undead Gods. And from what I understand, this is the last Deceased series that Tom Taylor's doing. Although never say never. Justice Society of America was one of those titles that should have been here last week, but was not. So it has arrived in this week, so it's on your pull list, it's in your box. But we're up to issue 3 of this, which is Jeff Johns, of course, and Mikel Janin on art. We've got another large Jan size spectacular, which is milestone the 30th anniversary special. Lovely little homage cover there to Flash. And same again, this will be an anthology based book, loads of different creators, loads of different shorter stories on different characters. And then again, I've already read this week, and again it was class. New Nightwing out this week as well. So we're up to issue 102 for this. Tom Taylor continuing the Lord's work with Nightwing. So that is DC. What about Marvel? Well, Marvel this week, it's definitely geared towards one big release, I would say. There's other good stuff as well, of course, but it's definitely geared towards one big release. So you've got Amazing Spider-Man this week, so we're up to issue 22, so continuing on with Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. on art for that. Back in stock, we have Avengers Forever. This is obviously the farewell to Jason Aaron's run. It's been spread across Avengers Forever and Avengers, and we're up to part 9 of his Avengers Assemble stuff. We've got Carnage number 11. This is where Alex Paknadel is starting to take over from Ram, and Rose Antonio on art. The one big release, of course, I'm talking about this week is Doctor Strange. So brand new starting point, beautiful Alex Ross cover. Jed McKay writing, Pasquale Ferry on art, oversized issue 1. So again, that's your starting point if you want to jump into Doctor Strange. I should say as well, there's 2 new comic boxes out this week as well. One of them is Doctor Strange, which has that Alex Ross image on the side and Doctor Strange logo on the front and on the lid. And then there's also Venom Lethal Protector ones out this week as well. So they'll be going out for sale. This week we also see the release of a new issue of Punisher, so we're continuing on to issue 10 of Jason Aaron, Jesus Says, and Paul Azaceta's Punisher run. Don't come home until you're coming home. Really enjoying Punisher. We have new She-Hulk this week, so we're up to issue 11 for the Rainbow Rowell very well received She-Hulk run. We have Star Wars Darth Vader this week. We're up to issue 32. Greg Pak continuing to do work on this. From what I understand, is the best Star Wars title. Again, I don't read a lot of Star Wars, but I've been told this is the best Star Wars title going at the moment. We have a new issue of Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants under the Sins of Sinister banner. We're up to issue 2 here with Al Ewing. And then we finish off again with a little one-shot, which is Women of Marvel, focusing on some of the female characters in the Marvel Universe, so the likes of Silk, Captain Marvel, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. And again, you've got a range of different writers and artists on this telling shorter anthology-based stories. And then that leaves us just with the indie side of things. Bit of a quieter week this week, indie-wise. This is actually in here because this is a copy I moved from about 5 weeks ago, which is Black Cloak, issue 2, which is the Kelly Thompson miniseries. We have a new issue of Damn Them All. This is issue 6. Pardon me. Damn Them All was originally solicited as a 6-issue miniseries, but it's now being promoted to ongoing, so it's done very well. So Cy Spurrier and Charlie Adler on that. We have a new series this week from Fred Kennedy and Nick Marinkovic, which is Dead Romans. I believe this is going to be a shorter mini-series as well. Another new one, I don't know an awful lot about this, but I have taken a copy for myself to give it a read, is The Neighbours. This is a brand new Boom Studios one. It's got that sort of spooky teenage lock and key type feel to it. So I'll give issue 1 a go, of course. We've got Order and Outrage, which is a new Jim Starlin series. This is done through Dark Horse Comics with Rags Morales on art duties there. And 2 more to finish off with. We have Undiscovered Country, latest issue, up to issue 24. That's Scott Snyder, Charles Soule, and Giuseppe Camuncoli continuing their exploration of a new America. And then we finish off, I don't normally get a lot of Valiant stuff in, but Liam Sharp being on this, Becky Cloonan being on this, and Michael Conrad being on this. Exo Man of War Unconquered, so a brand new number 1, and again a jumping on point for people there. So that's all the new releases going on the racks. What about graphic novel wise? So again, it's the usual top up of me filling in blanks for some series on the shelves, some brand new stuff, some omnibuses, that kind of thing. So we kick things off with Aliens, the original years. Now again, this was actually out last week. Obviously I didn't do a show last week, but this is Marvel moving into the Epic Collections for Aliens. What they're doing is they're printing it under the banner of the original years. So they're going back to the Dark Horse stuff, reprinting them, full perfect color reprints, and putting them all together. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the start of a series. So volume 1, this covers 1988 to 1990. And this contains Aliens 1 to 6 from 1988, Aliens 9 from 1989, 1 to 4, Aliens Earth War 1 to 4, and material from Dark Horse presents a few issues there. So I think this is a really good way of doing it. They have been releasing omnibuses as well, but I think this is a more affordable, more entry level way to do so. A little top up here. I always try to have the Snyder Batman run in stock when I can. So a little top up here. So we've got 2 volumes of Zero Year, which are Secret City and Dark City. We have Graveyard Shift, which is volume 6. And then we have Bloom, which is volume 9. So I believe that is all 10 volumes of Snyder and Capullo's Batman run on the shelves. Again, going into top-ups, Chew, one of my favorite series of all time from Image Comics. Such a great sense of humor to it, wacky art, really brilliantly written. So we're going back to volume 1 here. I wanted to have a few of these on the shelf. John Layman, Rob Guillory on art. And again, one of my favorite titles. Each issue contains anywhere between 5 and 6 issues. Always complete story arcs in there. A new one out this week, which is Creepshow. So Creepshow is moving on to graphic novel. This was 5 issues in total, 10 wicked tales. And I really enjoyed this. You know, there were some good creators on it. Paul Dini, Chris Burnham, Francesco Francavilla, Kyle Starks, just as a few examples. But again, a little bit of horror for you there. We have the next installment from the Massiveverse hitting trade, which is The Dead Lucky. This is from Melissa Flores and French Carlo Magno. And I interviewed Melissa Flores, the writer, this a little while back. It's worth checking out on the podcast network. But I really, really enjoyed Dead Lucky. Again, a couple of wee top-ups here. We've got Death or Glory from Rick Remender and Bengal. This was a brilliant 11-issue series. I think we do have the hardcover over there in the omnibus section, but there is the 2 trade paperbacks, and we had volume 1 on the shelf, so just getting volume 2. Topping up Department of Truth, so we have all the volumes as well. So this is volume 3, which collects issues 6 and 7, which were guest artists, and issues 14 to 17. Also topping up Die from Kieran Gillen, Stephanie Hans, of course. This is volume 2, Split the Party. So now all 4 volumes are again on the shelf. We have Die, 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 which was a surprise over-the-top action series from Robert Kirkman, Chris Burnham, Scott Gimple. And again, we had volume 3 on the shelf randomly. It's only a 3-volume series, so volumes 1 and 2 back in stock. Back in stock at long last is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Or just Scott Pilgrim, I suppose, as opposed to the bad movie title. That's another story. But anyway, 5 volumes of Scott Pilgrim in stock this week. Got a couple of new mangas in. We got My Hero Academia hitting volume 33. Boruto hitting volume 16. We have a hardcover for Harley Quinn, which is Harley Quinn Verdict. This covers issues 13 to 17 and How to Train Your Hyena short story from the anniversary special. So continuing on there with the Stephanie Phillips stuff. Couple more trades for you here. We have King Spawn Volume 2. So this collects issues 7 to 12. We have King Spawn Volume 1 on the shelves as well, if you want to play catch up. We have Multiversity Teen Justice. This was a 6-issue mini-series. It also collects those 6 issues plus stories from DC's Very Merry Multiverse and DC Pride 2022 as well. So a little bit of Multiversity love there. Again, should have been here last week. Diamond keep not sending us this. It's really annoying. And again, I've been shorted this week. But again, hopefully it'll be next week. Nice House in the Lake Volume 2. So of course this is the second and final volume of James Tynion and Alvaro Martinez Bueno's End of the World story. Fantastic stuff. We have Robin Volume 3 in. So this is the end of Joshua Williamson's run on that character. This all leads into the Batman versus Robin stuff on Lazarus Planet. So Joshua Williamson and Roger Cruz. Again, that run was superb. Again, only 17 issues, but packed a lot into it. And then again, topping up the Saga back issues. So Volume 2 back in stock. So again, we should have all volumes of Saga on the shelf. And then we finish off just with 3 new omnibuses in. So we kick things off with Captain America by Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting. So this is the start of the Brubaker run. This is going right back to setting up Winter Soldier, setting up all that good stuff, leading all to the death and the trial of Captain America, all the Ed Brubaker stuff basically. But this covers Captain America 1 to 25 and the Captain America 65th anniversary special and Winter Soldier, Winter Kills One Shots. Lovely omnibus size that. I'm a big fan. I read that myself not too long ago. And then we've got a couple of Deadpool volumes in. So we've got Deadpool, first of all, the complete collection by Daniel Way, Volume 1. which collects a lot of random stuff. You have Wolverine Origins, you have Deadpool issues 1 to 26, you have Thunderbolts issues, Hitmonkey issues as well, so focusing on Daniel Way. And then we also have Deadpool Beginnings. So this is going right back to the start, right back to the first appearance in New Mutants 98. We've got issues in here including X-Force, Nomad, Avengers, his first solo Deadpool series, Secret Defenders, Wolverine. So tons of stuff there, basically showing the evolution of Deadpool from the very start. So that is us for this week. So little rundown of everything. As I say, tons going on in the store. Definitely pop in if you're in the town, have a look around, see what we're doing. I've put out 15 new packs as well this week, including like Chip Zdarsky Daredevil stuff, and like into complete packs, that kind of thing. So yeah, ton of new packs out there as well. But yeah, just always working, always making sure the store is as good as it can be. So, but as I say, hope this proved useful as ever. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you're staying safe out there in the rather fluctuating weather. And hopefully I'll see you in store soon. So take it easy.